The digital circus has left us with several questions that even the creators themselves have been unable to answer. Why don't the exit doors work? What really happens with abstraction? Why do the characters disappear and where do they go? In this video, my friends, we will try to answer all those questions and mysteries of the digital circus. Cain, the real villain. A recent doubt that has arisen about the digital circus is whether Cain is truly the villain of the show. One of his dialogues was downright psychopathic. Just pay attention when you hear it in slow motion.
Do you like adventure? Activity, wonder, danger, horror, pain, suffering, agony, death, disease, death, angel food cake? Activity, wonder, danger, horror, pain, suffering, agony, death, disease, death. Angel food cake?
It has been confirmed that the inspiration to create Cain was the computer AM that appears in the book I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, where this supercomputer keeps 5 people trapped just to have fun with them while subjecting them to tests. This could be a clue about what Cain is really plotting. He probably keeps the characters imprisoned just to have fun with them. Besides, he seems to be quite a liar, since he told them that he simply hadn't finished the exit.
I do have to apologize for lying about the exit. And you know how I never like letting people see my unfinished work.
But still, he placed these doors so that the characters could find them. If it was something he couldn't finish, the logical thing would be to hide it, so that no player could come across these doors. But perhaps he only did it to torment the poor characters even more. And we can confirm his lie when he's trying to apologize for putting these doors. He stutters a lot and takes a while to say the next sentence, as if he were inventing an improvised response. With this said, we can conclude that Cain could really be the true villain of the digital circus. The truth behind Jax. What is Jax up to with this behavior? From the beginning of the episode, Jax behaves rudely with everyone, causing everyone to hate him. Jax always plays harsh pranks on his peers, annoys Ragatha a lot, and was quite cruel when he broke Gangle's happy mask. He also prevented Kinger and Gangle from helping Ragatha and Pomni while they were with Cosmo. He has all the keys to the rooms and behaves in a way that is too hateful. We could say and justify Jax by saying that he's simply selfish and does it because he's an immature and mischievous person. But the truth is that I see other intentions behind all these actions. We know that Jax is the youngest of the group, and consequently, he is the most immature and less considerate. All this indicates that Jax could have come to a rather frightening conclusion, because Jax knows that the digital circus is a game, so he could have concluded that to get out of the game, he simply has to defeat everyone to be the winner. So that's why he always bothers his peers, with the aim of stressing them out and making it easier for them to go crazy or abstract. That's why he's selfish with everyone and has that competitive mentality. So tell me, friends, what do you think about Jax's behavior? Does he really want to eliminate everyone? Ragatha's problem. Now, let's talk about Ragatha's submissive and self-destructive personality. One of the things that made me uncomfortable in the digital circus is seeing how Ragatha constantly gets into situations that harm her. For her age, she should be a quite mature mind, as she is the character who is 30 years old, being the second oldest character in the circus. But I don't know why it reminds me of the personality of those women who have been mistreated by their husbands, and to avoid an argument, do everything he says. I say this because when everyone goes to see Cosmo, she's the only one who tries to negotiate with the clown, even though she knows he's completely crazy.
I know we didn't always get along, like when you called me out for fake laughing at your jokes. I swear I really did think they were funny. I was just having a bit of a bad day.
She insists on reasoning with him, and thanks to this, she's almost destroyed. Worst of all, she still hopes that Cain can fix Cosmo, even though everyone knows it's impossible. This really reminds me of the type of personality that girls who have ever been abused or have suffered violence have, either in their family or in their romantic relationship. Later, she tells Pomni to help her, but if she doesn't want to help her, there's no problem. Even the Ragatha is feeling a lot of pain.
Help me out here! I understand. You don't want to.
With all that Ragatha does, not valuing herself, letting everyone treat her like a ragdoll, and apologizing for everything, makes us think that she hides a grave secret behind her. Probably it was because of her that one of her colleagues was abstracted, and that's why she always tries to protect everyone. Another reason why Ragatha has this personality is that she decided to be the protector of everyone to avoid going crazy. This way, she would have her mind occupied during all that confinement. Kinger's Secret. One of the characters that, in my opinion, is quite interesting is Kinger. And although it seems that he's just a crazy guy, he actually has many quite interesting abilities. He's the oldest character in the digital circus, and we also know that he's the one who has been trapped there for the most years. His avatar is the most important piece in chess, being the king. And although many think he's just a crazy old man, he has managed to surprise us with his great knowledge, like when he mentioned the digital food.
Because we don't need to eat, drink, or sleep in this digital world, so the digital food here only gives off the virtual sensation of eating.
This confirms that Kinger hides many more things. He's a quite intelligent guy and apparently has the ability to predict things. This theory mentions that from the beginning of the episode, we could see that Kinger was in a pillow fort, and everyone took him for crazy. But this saved him from being captured like Zubul. And before that, Kinger only came out to ask if anyone had mentioned anything about insects.
Did someone say something about an insect collection?
And we must remember that glowinks are also called insects. If you paid attention, he could predict that the glowinks would be released, just like experienced chess players predict the movements of their opponents. Another interesting theory about Kinger is that he was one of the first beta testers they had for the video game. The job of these testers is to push video games to their limits, so that they can identify all possible errors, and thus the games are more optimized. This would explain his obsession with insects. Let's remember that insects can also refer to bugs, as in video game bugs. And this would also explain why he's such a good player and knows a lot about the digital circus. He also accurately said that Kaufmo went completely crazy, and for this reason, he didn't want to see him. So pay attention to everything Mr. Kinger tells us. Maybe he's not as crazy as he seems. What is abstraction and why it can't be fixed? Much is said about abstraction, but what does it actually mean? Abstraction, my friends, is the simple fact of obsessing over an idea to the point that you can't think of anything else, just like what happened to Kaufmo, who became obsessed with finding an exit, leading him to become that terrifying monster. But abstraction in art also has to do with the strange shapes and complex designs that try to tell us something. Things we see a lot within the digital circus with some characters. But why exactly does abstraction happen? We reach this state when our thoughts reach their limits, and we stop controlling them. Something like schizophrenia, where we lose contact with the reality. The difference is that in abstraction, we disconnect from our avatar within the game. This causes the avatar to no longer know what to do, and ends up turning into a dangerous monster that is no longer controlled by anything. Unfortunately, Cain cannot fix this error, because everything is in the player's head, and Cain was very clear with the only thing that he doesn't control, and that is the minds.
One of the few things I don't have control over are your minds.
So this is practically impossible to fix. But what do you think about all these mysteries? Leave in the comments what other questions would you like us to answer.